Chapter 1, The Town of Ecko. Here I am, once again, in a fresh new world. I'm at the beginning with nothing on me and unlimited possibilities before me. With a fresh new start, I like to see where I am. I'm happy that I'm in an easy starting location in the swamp, with plenty of water around me and trees to punch down. As we set on our adventure, we need to pick a direction to travel in. So I think south as I envision a nice house for myself on a hilltop, mixed into the hill, an artwork of infrastructure with a large water fountain that roams the whole of my estate. Before that happens, I'll need to start with getting the tools to build. While I need resources, there's no need to scar the land with a hole. Let's start right with tidying up this hole. The cleanup process is key to keeping a world clean. We will continue to head in this southerly direction. On the way, we will kill some wild animals for food. The journey was amazing. Lots happened. After all, I traveled over 7,000 blocks to get to a beautiful spot to build my home. 4 days of travel, and here is a story of my adventure. Day one was running south, and on the way, killed some sheep for food and used the wool to make a bed. Had my first sleep near a stream in the forest. When I woke up, I was jumped by bandits. After I killed the skeleton with the bow, the rest fled, and I caught up to the fleeing spider and slew him too. Not far off from here were some mountains, but they didn't seem right for a base. The grass color didn't fit with the image I had. However, I lingered in the mountains longer than I thought I would have. These mountains were rich with surface minerals. Coal and iron was my target. As I traversed the mountain cliffs, I used a trick that many know of, using a boat to parachute down. The safest way to travel vertically. The mountains ended and I thought I saw a great ocean, but the water was frozen. I sped off on the ice in a boat to the south and spotted the first village of my travels. The villagers were super friendly. They opened their doors to me and welcomed me into their village, and even offered for me to stay with them. I told them that at the moment the cold does not sit well with me, so I'm going to keep exploring. But before I go, is there anything that I have that you might want? The Fletcher said, I'll buy some sticks for my arrows. So I traded many sticks, and he gave me 6 emeralds. The blacksmith was also there, and after some bargaining, he traded a pair of iron boots for 5 emeralds. Away I left, and journeyed south again. As the sun was setting for my second night, I spotted another village. They let me lie my bed down in one of their houses to keep the cold off my bones. When I woke up, they offered me some goods in exchange for chopping down the trees in the village. I did that, and when they passed me some goods, I was about to leave, but was stopped. A villager said, Hi, I'm a Fletcher. When you first came into town, I saw the axe that you carried and convinced the town to let you chop the trees. If you can be so kind once again, I can trade you some emeralds for the logs that you chopped. I readily agreed to have a double earning at this village. I left the village by hopping into my boat on the frozen lake and followed the frozen land south until it grew dark. Slept the night in the cold under a tree and woke up, ready to start moving my cold, tired body. The day was uneventful except for the ability to warm up my physical body up near a lava lake and burning trees, and some cute Arctic foxes and pups warmed my heart. As the day was closing and my forced sleep of the journey approached, I left the frozen forest. This sleep was more peaceful with the hopes of finding a home the next day. Out of caution, I left the boat in the water for a quick dash out in case of an ambush like the first night. Thankfully, nothing happened, and I packed up my bed and headed up a small hill. This is where we stand now. Those hills in that bowl shape, I hope to make a nice big estate with many rooms and make it a friendly home. I also see a village in the distance. Let's go there to see if they're just as friendly as the villagers in the frozen forest. That was a disaster. The villagers did not want me to be part of their town. Almost no one talked to me. The children gave me judgmental faces, and only the cleric said hi. And he told me, "You better leave, sir. This is not a village for you to live in." I said, "I've traveled far enough, and I like this area. Give me some time, and if I'm not welcomed in a few weeks, then I'll will leave." Thankfully, he agreed and told me to build my house outside of the village. This is the spot I have picked out for us to stay. I will build myself a small starter home, and once I'm welcome, I will sell it and build myself the estate. I dropped off my bed and the gear that I will need to start building. I went to the forest and started chopping down trees. In the same area, I started a mine shaft for my home. I needed stone for the foundation and logs for the walls, roof, and floors. After a long day of introductions and starting to get settled, I came out of the mine shaft, and night was already upon us. I had to fight for my bed, and when I awoke, I needed to defend myself from the terrors of the darkness. There was a wandering trader that stopped past the village. I approached him, introduced myself. "Hi, I am Leaf." He said, "What can I offer you, my friend?" After looking at his goods, I told him, "There's nothing here that I need. Sorry." And he was understanding and went on his way. I did find it odd that he was going on his way down into the cave, but I didn't stop him or see him again. I journeyed into the caves as well to get some resources. This was just a quick jaunt. I ran in, killed some hostiles, lit up the caves, and when it got too much, I ran out. The goods I collected on my way out, prepared to tackle the caves another day. Now came the task that I was putting off, the building of my home. Started with the foundations, then the walls and floor. The house is small and simple. On the right hand side, I have two windows. In that area, I place my bedroom. The back room is for a staircase to go down and up for the basement and attic. Had an unexpected visitor who came to attack and blew up most of my backyard. The rain started and I needed to quickly build a bit of my roof so I could sleep with my face out of the rain. After I finished, I spruced up a bit of the interior. I needed a bit of a break, so I decided to go mining and found an abandoned mine shaft. However, I left the exploration of it for another day. With my home built, it was time to interact with the villagers. I wanted to show them that I was here to help them and live amongst them. Started with cleaning up the big hole in the ground outside of my home. I filled it in. Next was to go and mingle with the villagers. But on my way, I saw that there were some villagers about to attack. I spotted the leader and wanted to trap him. So I first killed the henchman and then lured the leader to my cabin and trapped him in a boat and covered him up so that he would not shoot anyone anymore. After my fight for the village, I wanted to see if they would welcome me in, but I was still too hot-headed after the fight. To help with my hot-headedness, I did some manual labor repairing the roads. While doing this, I noticed a council going on. Interlude. The town council. Cleric says, "Hi, we need to talk about this new guy that's here." Nitwit pipes in, "Yeah, why is he here?" Cleric, "We told you, Nitwick, you cannot speak here." The chief farmer pipes in, "I talked to him for a brief moment, and I don't like him. But let's stop calling him new guy, because he is not staying with us. Use his name, Leaf." In actual fact, the farmer wants him to stay because he knows how quickly Leaf built his new home, and he wanted Leaf to build himself and his family stuff for creature comforts. The cleric speaks again and sighs. "Okay, Leaf, what do you all think about him?" The unemployed villager says, "I don't like him. He's taking up too much space and changing too much around here. Look, he even filled in that pit, and now he is prancing around our village cleaning up stuff that we might not want cleaned up. The pig farmer? Who cares? Let's end this and leave him alone. He is helping for free. Cleric. Shh. Here he comes with some carrots for us. Nitwig. Why is he bringing us our own food? The farmer and his family can do that for us. The cleric gave the Nitwig a look, and the Nitwig is silent. Then he says, what he is doing is good. The holes have monsters hiding in them, and they have killed plenty of us. And the village does need a bit of a cleanup. I have told him that he can try and stay here for a few weeks, and if we want him out, we will force him to continue to travel. Now, it is enough. Let's leave. After all the work that I do for the village, I have two that think that my house is theirs. It is because the leather worker thinks that my sink is her own and the fisherman thinks that my barrel is his. I need to let them know. After explaining the situation to the leather workers, she apologizes for that. Then she vacates and asks not to put those items in my house. Fair enough. I will not put those items in my house, I told them. I know this village had a meeting, so I go looking for the cleric, but the chief farmer approaches me instead. He says, hi, sorry to bother you, but if you have the time, can you do a job for me? I respond with, sure, what can I do? He says, if it is not too much trouble, my son, being a bit lazy and wanting to help him, he is in charge of being the sheep farmer for the village. If you can make a pen for the sheep, a spot where he can easily keep them safe, and if you can bring a few sheep into the pen, then for payment, you can kill the rest of the sheep. I readily agreed. Why not? I was happy building, and this helps out. I get fed for the work that I was doing. In addition, I was happy that I was not as much of a stranger to the village folk here. If the farmer's happy to talk with me, then this is just a simple pen that will help out this farmer. Also, I will shear his sheep so that he can put some carpet on the fence in order for us to get in and out and access the pen from the outside, but the sheep won't know it's there. As soon as I finished, the pig farmer talked to me, but he hardly talked to me as well. I don't know. In summary, he wants the same for the sheep farmer, but away from the town, quite near the lake. He likes the quiet of the lake. He will give me the same payment. So I made another pen for the pigs by the lake. As I was cleaning up my inventory and getting ready to work on my own place again, I saw the chief farmer approaching me. He said, Leaf, thanks so much for the pen and pastures that you made for my son and his sheep. It looks really good and fits him well. Now my mind is at ease. I replied, no problem. I was happy to help, and anything else that you need, just let me know. With that, he smiled a bit cheekily and said, to be honest, that was my way of testing your reliability and skill. I also see that the pig farmer wanted one too. That's good. He deserves it, and that style suits him. I replied. What do you mean? Testing me? He grinned, and then I knew. And I said, so you want me to make you a pen and a pasture for your animals as well? Let me guess, you are in charge of the cows around the town. The chief farmer said, yep, I sure am. If you can make me a pen on top of that hill, a little bigger than the two other pens, that would be great. Then I turned and walked away, but said, of course I will do it, but might not be finished right away. I started on the pen, but partway through I needed to start work on my own place, so I started doing both projects at once, making my place more pleasing to look at and working on the farmer's field. For my place, I started with moving the prisoner to a hole in the ground and then blocked him up with dirt so that someone won't accidentally find themselves in a pickle. As you can see, lots of work was getting done around the home. One thing I did want was to get some leaves so that I can have animals roaming around. This is when disaster broke out. I went to a spot where I knew there were some slimes, and this is what happened. Not just once, but twice it happened. Then, as I was recovering my stuff, half of it disappeared. My bad luck did not run out there. As I was getting iron in another cave, I died again. And with the recovery here, my exit was not the easiest. I left with mortal wounds, half a heart left. I went home for some food to heal while I slept the night away. The next day was a fresh one. I decided to have a relaxing day, and I went into town to meet with the cleric, and he told me, "There's a wandering trader in town in case you want to trade. He is at the town center. We're all done. We are done with our trading." He paused. "And yesterday we had another meeting in town. Some people still want you out of town. Watch out for the farmer. He seems to be a bit negative with you living here near the town. I, personally, am happy for you to stay and help out around town, though. There's a lot of work that I see that you have done, and much more that you still can do." I thanked him and left to go see the wandering trader. The wandering trader had nothing for me except the leads, and he gave them to me for a ride in the boat that I was carrying. This then allowed me to get the animals that I wanted to have near my house and finish up my home near the village for now.